Hey guys, this is Walt back here with you. Just a couple more things. We're going to wrap this training up, but I do think it's important that you hear a couple things about Abide and what we're trying to do. There's no question as we go through Abide, we talked about it at the very beginning. It's about helping someone develop a Christian worldview. It's about being transformed by the renewing of our mind, letting the Spirit do His work in our life as we take in the things of God and the Word of God and experience God, that our minds change and the way we live then changes, the things around us change. We're changed from the inside out. But abide is also meant to do so much more than that. You know, one thing that we know to be true is that the degree to which someone is participating in the church uh, is the degree to which their life transforms more and more and more so for Christ. So what we see is that a person who just comes to church one time a month or a couple times a month doesn't participate in difference makers, doesn't participate in events or things like that, uh, they seem to be affected less by the or their ability to grow is actually diminished, I should say, maybe is a better way of saying that. When somebody comes regularly, then we see that increase. When somebody participates in men conference, women's conference, Bible studies, things like that, the events that we have, it increases. We start seeing deeper commitment. And then when they start getting in life groups, they start getting in being a difference maker. They start committing financially and they start giving because God's affected that area of their life. Then all of a sudden, when all those areas come together, then what happens is we see people start to really grow up in the Lord. And that's a pretty exciting thing. So what we want to do with Abide, we want to take the opportunity not only for the mentor to have those conversations with them, but and hear them and hear those things talked about in videos. We want the church to be able to wrap their arms around them. So all through the 12 weeks of Abide, excuse me, we talk about things like life groups and difference maker and belong. We talk about the elements of the service. We talk about communion and worship and prayer and seeking God's steps and all those things. But there's 3 weeks in Abide that we drive down a little bit deeper and maybe go a little bit harder after certain things. Week 8, we talk about life groups. Week 9, we talk about being a difference maker. And week 10, we talk about belong. Now, we're not just talking about that and leaving it up to you to handle those conversations. For sure, mention life groups, belong, all those things when it's appropriate to do that. But what's happening is when a person completes, for instance, a participant completes week 8, then you get the email saying that they've completed that. But there's something else that happens behind the scenes in this. There is an email that's sent to the campus pastor through Planning Center Online, which is the platform that we use to manage difference makers and all kinds of stuff. And it's got what they call workflows in it. If a way to describe that is it's creating someone else's to-do list for them. So when someone finishes week 8, an email is sent to Planning Center Online that goes to the campus pastor that says, hey, this person just completed week 8. We talked to them about life groups in week 8. Would you please reach out or have someone reach out to them, see if they're in a life group, or facilitate helping them get into a life group? In week 9, we talk about being a difference maker and about what it means to volunteer to do things at the church, to make a difference in someone's life by moving from the just me mentality towards now I'm serving others. And again, that email is sent through Planning Center Online. That workflow is created and it says, this person just completed week 9. We've talked to them about being a difference maker. Please check to see that they're already on your team, or if they're not, what can you do to facilitate getting them on your team? And then finally, in week 10, we talked to them about Belong class. Now, Belong may not be coming up right away, but what we're encouraging the campus pastor to do, or someone at the campus to do, is get a hold of them personally and say, hey, we've got Belong coming up on such and such a date. Would you mind putting that on your calendar right now? And we're going to put that on our calendar. So don't be surprised if you receive an email from us and reminding you about Belong. We really want you to be there. It's really important that you know what we believe. And what do you think the chances of that person participating in those 3 things are? I don't know what the answer to that is, but I know it's significantly more. It's going to be significantly more of a chance that they're going to do that when the church starts wrapping their arms around them and they start getting a text from a campus pastor or from somebody else, not just their mentor, saying, man, we really want you to be involved in a life group. We really want you to do this. So that's the main things about Abide. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk to you about. The one thing that you may not have seen just going through the mentor program is the questions that the Abide participants are going to be taking. So right down below this video, you're going to have an opportunity to download those questions and take a look at them. It'll also show you, they're divided into weeks so you can match them up. It'll also show you what we've asked them to do under Do This section. There's things that we've asked them to apply the Word of God in their lives. You'll be able to see that. I want to challenge you as a mentor, even if you don't go back and do all the participant videos, look at the questions that they have to answer and look at the Do This. And why don't you answer some of those questions, and why don't you do the Do This portion and just see what happens in your life? I think there's going to be some great improvement. There's going to be a lot of cool things that happen. So what I want you to do is just be faithful in prayer, faithful to the person that you're mentoring. The worst thing that we can do is to assign someone for Abide, get them started, and nobody contact them or stop contacting them. So what you're doing is important. We love you. We appreciate all you're doing for us. Let's just see what happens a year from now when we get people through Abide. What does the church look like? I think it's going to be awesome. I'll talk to you later.